Have you ever met someone who seems wise beyond their years? Someone who never really talks about a carefree childhood, who took on responsibilities too early, worried too young, and somehow skipped the part where life was supposed to be simple. Psychology says that didn't happen by accident, because when a child is forced to grow up too fast, it doesn't just steal their childhood, it quietly rewires their entire personality. Let's break down the real psychology of a child who grew up too fast. 1. They become the caretaker in every relationship. Psychologists call this the parentified child, a child who is forced to take emotional or practical responsibility for the adults around them. Maybe they managed the house. Maybe they comforted a struggling parent. Maybe they just learned very early that nobody was coming to save them, so they saved themselves, and they never stopped. As adults, they instinctively take care of everyone around them, not always because they want to, but because somewhere inside they still believe that love must be earned through usefulness. 2. They struggle to ask for help. Children who grew up too fast learned one lesson very clearly. Needing something is dangerous. Because when they needed comfort, it wasn't there. When they needed guidance, they had to figure it out alone. Psychologists link this to avoidant attachment, a pattern where the person disconnects from their own needs to avoid the pain of being disappointed again. As adults, they appear fiercely independent, but underneath that strength is a child who simply stopped asking because asking never worked. 3. They are exhausted in a way they cannot explain. This is one of the most overlooked symptoms. People who grew up too fast carry a chronic, invisible tiredness. Not physical tiredness, emotional tiredness. Psychologists describe this as cumulative stress, years of being alert, responsible, and strong before their nervous system was ready for it. They never had a season of just being a child, and the body remembers that debt. Even in safe moments, they can't fully relax, because relaxing never felt safe before. 4. They grieve a childhood they never had. Many of them reach adulthood and feel an unexplainable sadness. Not about anything specific, just a quiet ache. Psychologists call this ambiguous loss, the mourning of something that was never given. They see other people laugh about silly childhood memories and feel like an outsider. Not bitter, just quietly aware that something was taken from them before they even knew its value. 5. They are unbelievably resilient, but at a cost. Here is what psychology makes very clear. Children who grew up too fast develop extraordinary strength. They are resourceful, emotionally intelligent, and capable of handling pressure that breaks others. But that resilience came with a price. It was built not through support, but through survival. And deep down, many of them would trade every ounce of that strength for just one memory of feeling completely, unconditionally safe as a child. So, if you recognize yourself in any of this, know one thing. You were never too much. Life was just too heavy for someone your age to carry. The strength you built in silence is real, but so is the rest you were never given, and it is never too late to finally give it to yourself. If you want to understand why you feel, think, and carry yourself the way you do, subscribe now. Because on this channel, we don't just observe people's behavior. We trace it all the way back to where it began.